Okay, back for practice question number 3. This is one I think you might actually see in May, just because this is one of the things that we'll talk about in our Zoom. They're really streamlining the questions themselves, and so a calculation question like this, I think you could definitely see. And so it says gross domestic product, unemployment, inflation, economic growth are key measures of a country's economic performance. So this is kind of coming out of stuff from Unit 2 on macro measurements. The following statistics are from the country of Paddyland in 2016. Dollar values are measured in 2016 dollars. All right, so it gives you the levels of consumption, investment, exports, imports, government spending, and taxes. All right, so you can see all the values there. And so it wants us in Part A to calculate each of the following and show our work. So first thing we want to do is calculate nominal GDP. So what we need to do is add everything up, right? So we're going to add consumption and investment. So that winds up being 90 plus 65, which is 155. So 155 there. All right. Now remember that net exports is the value of what we import. The value of what we export minus the value of what we import. So we imported $50 worth of goods here, but only exported 25. So now we're going to take 25 away. So now we have 130. And then we add in the government spending, because we know that's a component of GDP, and we have $180 is our answer for nominal GDP. Taxes have nothing to do with it. It's just something thrown in there to trip you up. All right, so taxes have nothing to do with calculating the value for nominal GDP. All right, now it wants us to calculate real GDP. So real GDP, we know, is nominal, right? So 180 divided by the GDP deflator. All right, we see it there. All right, it's given to us. That's 90. And then we take that and we multiply it by 100. All right, so now we wind up in a situation where we have 2 times 100. All right, so real GDP now is 200. Okay, so the answer for part 2, real GDP is 200. And then it wants us in part 3, real GDP per capita. That's easy. We take real GDP, divide it by the population, right, which happens to be 50. So real GDP per capita is 4. All right, so that's part A. Now part B says Debbie is a citizen of the country of Wayland and owns a computer software firm in Paddyland. Is the output produced by Debbie's computer software firm included in Paddyland's nominal GDP that we calculated in part A? And then explain. The answer is yes, it is included. The reason why it's included is because her firm, even though she lives in Wayland and she's from Wayland, her firm is located inside the borders of Paddyland. All right, we know that that's one of the components of the definition of GDP. All right, this is being produced within the borders of Paddyland, so it's definitely included in GDP because of that. Part C, the GDP deflator for Paddyland in 2015 was 110. In 2016, was Paddyland experiencing inflation or deflation, or is there insufficient information to determine that condition? And explain. They're experiencing deflation. The reason why we can say they're experiencing deflation is that the value for the GDP deflator went down. It went from, It went from 110 in 2015 to now only 90 in 2016. Anytime the value for the deflator falls, you're seeing deflation. You're actually seeing lower overall price level. All right, so that's our explanation. With the deflator falling, that lets us know that we have deflation. And the very last one, calculate the unemployment rate in Paddyland. All right, so unemployment, we know we have to take the number of unemployed, all right, divided by the total labor force. So we have 25 in the labor force, and we have 20 that are employed. So that means we have 5 that are unemployed. All right, 5 divided by the labor force of 25, all right, gives us 20% unemployment in Paddyland. Okay, so that's question number 3.